What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by Autotop.nl. My name is Max, and today we are checking out the all-new BMW M3 Touring against one of its biggest and most dangerous rivals, the M3 40i. Also by BMW, yes, I believe that this is the most dangerous one for the M3 Touring, because if you look at an Audi RS4, a stock M3 40i is already able to keep up with that car. So, you know, an M3 Touring will just absolutely demolish that car. You're looking at almost RS6 performance in this car. So what we've got here today is one of our own, a car from our own stables. This is Martijn's own family car, BMW M3 40i, which we have modified. So we actually also started a BMW tuning company. We sell parts in our store for BMWs, but also for other cars. And this car has had our treatment, which we feel is the ultimate M3 40i. So we've got an MHD tune, XHP transmission software flash, an FI 200 cell downpipe, an Eventuri intake, and a mid-pipe. And this thing is amazing. It's fast, it sounds good, and it looks the part. Because, yeah, if you look at the rear, this is clearly the winner. An M3 40i cannot compete with the just balls to the wall extreme looks of an M3 Touring, especially in this spec fashion gray. Super nice color. I think this is a really good spec with ceramic brakes. And then Martijn's M3 40i in sapphire black. No privacy glass, which we do have here, but if we move to the front, this of course is the biggest difference. M3 40i has the regular 3 Series nose, and then the M3 has the massive kidney grille. And yeah, in my opinion, this is the prettier car, the M3 40i. The M3 looks, you know, much more aggressive, much more serious, and a lot cooler, but this is the more pretty car, if you ask me. We also upgraded the mirrors, so this is cerium gray, also available in our shop. And this car has the regular M Sport brakes. Not great. You need ceramics on an M3. I'm not saying you need ceramics on an M3 40i, but you can upgrade them. Now, if we sit right behind it, you can see that the car is wider than a regular 3 Series. It's like 9 centimeters longer as well than a regular 3 Series Touring. 77 millimeters wider. Wheel arches, as you can see, that is much skinnier. And it is a big difference. I feel like they transformed it really, really well. This looks much more like normal every day. And they really managed to make something special here with this M3 Touring. So in the looks department, of course, this is subjective. This is more everyday, this is more out there. You know, if you think that this is too over the top, I can imagine that you would drive that every day. Martijn's girlfriend drives that every day with the kids. You know, it's a bit less obnoxious than driving around in an M3 Touring with your kids. I mean, it's freaking cool as hell, but I can imagine that, you know, this is more suitable for a lot of people. Now, let's check out the engines. So that is the S58, which of course is based on the B58, which we've got right here. They are two of the best engines BMW has ever made. They really are. Absolutely lovely performance, sound, durability, potential for tuning. As standard, this has 374 horsepower compared to 510 in the Touring, but this MHD tune is around 460 horsepower. So very close to the stock power of an M3. But of course, the Touring is only available as a competition X-Drive, so 510 horsepower, 650 Newton meters of torque. But the interesting thing is that you have two 3 Series Tourings, all-wheel drive, automatic gearbox, so you'd think they would be relatively comparable in weight. But this, the M3, is actually 100 kilos heavier than the M340i. So you have B58, S58, all-wheel drive, automatic, it's all the same. But I think that they did a lot of extra bracing, and I know that the M3 has a different rear subframe compared to the 3 Series Touring to increase the rigidity. And I think that is where that weight comes from, mostly. But 100 kilos is a lot. 1865 curb weight, 1865, nearly 1900 kilos. That is a lot. This is 1745, which is still quite a bit. But if you compare it to the lightest version, the rear wheel drive manual M3, which we also own, of course, 1700 kilos. So it is a big difference, 17 to 1865. It's, you know, like 160 kilos, and you do feel that. But does it matter? I'm not so sure. I think it's a different buyer. Oh, I forgot to tell you that Martijn also installed a KW suspension kit on this car with adjustability, as you can see. Beautiful little buttons there. But that also improves the M340's handling quite a bit, because it's quite a loose suspension setup with the M340. The M3 is a lot more stiff, a lot harder, a lot more rigid, of course. And you really definitely feel that difference, especially if you drive them back to back. So that KW set is a nice little upgrade. And then interior wise, I'm not going to cover this too much, but we've got a beautiful Tartufo interior. Absolutely stunning, with that fashion grey exterior. And of course the M3 Touring was introduced when this new curved display was introduced as well, with iDrive 8. You might as well call it iDrive Hate, because I freaking loathe it. I don't really like it. It's too much of a gimmick system. It's too much like an Android thing. Everything has a different app. It's not as easy to use as the previous iDrive system, which I think is just the best one ever. And I don't like the gauges. We talked about this in the review as well, so I'm not going to go too, you know, crazy about this, but it's just ugly. I don't like it. It's too gimmicky. It looks like a computer game. And if you compare it to like a last generation BMW M3 or M4 with those beautiful analog dials, I just cry on the inside. I really don't understand how we went from that to this in such a short amount of time. This is going to feel outdated in a few years, whereas analog dials are just going to be beautiful always. Anyway, this has the older setup. Also 2 screens and a digital display, but it's a bit less fussy. There's a lot less going on. Still don't like it. I still think it's not the most pretty thing ever, but at least it's a bit less ostentatious. And then we have the iDrive 7 right here, which is just better. You have like menus, so if you need anything, you know to go there and then to settings, or, you know, it's just all very logical. Interior wise, Martijn also upgraded it with this beautiful carbon inlay, bit of Alcantara there as well on the dash here. That is a very nice upgrade. And the steering wheel inlay and the pedal shifters as well. All available in our shop. I mean, yeah, Martijn did go absolutely nuts on this car. He has a lot of mods on it now, actually, come to think of it. But it is a really good car, so I can't wait to show you guys. But we're going to start with the M3 Touring. I'm going to clap twice and summon my driver. Let's go, buddy! So Martijn is going to start in the M340.
Suck it, Pamela.
Suck it? Who?
Pamela Anderson.
Oh, Pamela Anderson. Bait watch. Okay. So we're going to drive them back to back to experience what it's like. Because, as I said, I feel like that car is very dangerous to this car, even in stock form, because it is so good. It's such a complete car already. And if you just take away the sheer power of this car and just the looks, oh, that sounds good. I feel like the M340 is as good a car in almost every other category. But as I said, we have all-wheel drive in both cars, but this one is switchable. So this car has the MX drive, which means that you can basically disconnect the front axle and you remain with rear-wheel drive. Little caveat though, it does not feel as good as the rear-wheel drive M3s. You do lose a bit of steering feel, and I don't know, it feels a bit more distant, a bit more disconnected. So I feel like, dynamically speaking, of course, if you compare it to a stock M340i, the M3 is just going to be much more impressive, much more entertaining. But with a tune, with a KW set, you know, an M340i, it's very close to this. Also, don't like the fake sound in the M3 Touring. I think it's in all the M3s with an automatic gearbox, but it's always there. So even if I go out of M1 and just in normal mode, if I slow down a little bit, okay, so let it run through the gears, you have this shift sound, this little like bloop, bloop, and it's always there. I think it's because BMW wants to convince us that it's real. Now, gearbox wise, we both have the ZF 8-speed, of course. This has stock software. The M340 has XHP, which is amazing. Dynamically speaking, I feel like this car would have really benefited from the MDCT gearbox like in the previous M3s, but this car is geared towards daily driving and daily usability, especially the Touring. That I feel like it does make sense, especially in this car. It does make sense to have a regular automatic that is so much more usable in daily life. So I get it, but I feel like the configuration, the calibration of this gearbox could have been a lot more aggressive. Oh, this fake sound in this car is so annoying. Almost everything you hear is just fake. It's so loud. I don't like it. So at the Autobahn, we're not going to race each other. We're just going to both floor it at the same time, and then you can draw your own conclusions from that. But this is full throttle, and there we go. I would say that that is very close. That's basically the same, right? That's basically the same. If we were looking which one was faster, which we are not, you would say that they perform the same, which they do, because we measured the 100 to 200 time, of course, and this one did 9.12 and that one did 9.18, so I call that level. And that is what happens when you floor them. Yeah. That is crazy. I mean, yeah, that's the same performance. So of course, as standard, that car is limited at 250. This is as well, but you have the option to go to 280. You don't have that option with an M340i. But on the Autobahn, I feel like, you know, these cars are so capable. It's really nitpicky to try and find something, you know, if one is better than the other. I feel like this M3 feels a bit more tied down. It feels, you know, a bit more connected to the road compared to an M340i stock, which would probably mean that the M340i is a bit more comfortable on long journeys. I feel like I was catching him a little bit there, above like 250. So here we are back at our spot and let's switch. Here we are in the M340. Start it up, go to Sport Plus, and well, now of course it's not fair to compare a stock exhaust to an aftermarket one, but oh my god, that sounds amazing. It sounds really deep, little bit of a crackle, still a very nice 6-cylinder sound there, and that is down to that 200 cell downpipe combined with that mid pipe. So we don't have switchable all-wheel drive, as I said, but we do have a rear wheel biased system, so you can slide it around a bit, but you have to push it. If it's wet, it's super easy. There's so much more going on in this car. You can hear the inventory intake blowing off, you can hear that exhaust burbling away. Beautiful exhaust note, absolutely lovely. Let's open the window a little bit. Oh, that is so nice. And that is what I mean when I say that this car is so dangerous to that car, because it's so much cheaper. It's so much cheaper than that car. I mean, that car is really, really expensive. 175,000 in the Netherlands, 100,000 pounds in the UK. This, you know, you can pick up a used one for like 60, 70 grand, a really good one. So, you know, if you spend a few grand on tuning it, yeah, you've got this amazing car. So, launch control 3.6 in the BMW M3 Competition xDrive, 3.7 in the tuned M340i. Yeah, that is really good. A lot of traction. Now, a few things have really improved with this car. As I said, that KW suspension kind of takes the wobbliness out of the suspension. The same goes for that XHP software. If you listen to the shift, it's so much quicker, more crisp, more snappy than the stock car. It is a massive difference. It is, I feel like, also a better shift than that car in Sport Plus mode. And you get a nice little crackle. So on the Autobahn, we're just going to keep it in sport. Gearbox, let it shift by itself, because it shifts at like the perfect moment every time. Oh, but it is playful, this car. It really is. I love this M340. It's so good. That's still a big difference. That understeer, I would not have had that in an M3. The limiter on this car has been removed using MHD. So here we go. Normally it would be over at 250. Now though, we can keep going. And that is 300 in an M340i. Look at it go. That is seriously impressive. And I'm catching up, because that is 310 and he is still limited at like 290, I think. Holy moly. Oh, Martijn, you've got such an amazing car. You really do. It is. The potential in these cars is... But that is very impressive. So a really dangerous car to the M3 Touring, because it can do it all. Some things even better than the M3. Some things, you know, it's not an M car. So definitely the M3, the turn-in, it feels much more sharp. The engine feels more like an M car's engine, of course. But performance-wise, this can keep up. Sound-wise, this sounds better, of course, with this exhaust. Looks-wise, you know, that is a personal thing. I think they both look amazing. They are neck and neck. It's so close. So this would be where I would start catching up. There I go. Because this is his limiter. But wow, these cars, they can really do everything. And I think that is a big part of the charm of both of these cars, is that they can do so much. And they do it so well. They excel at almost everything, and that is just amazing. So I hope you enjoyed this review of both these cars. It was a pleasure to drive them back to back. Martijn, as I said, you've got an amazing car. I really love this thing. If you want your M340i to be like this one or any other BMW M Performance or M car, hit us up. Link is in the description. You can check out our store, and you can check out all the parts we use and find more info over there as well. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. You can subscribe by clicking the big button in the middle. You can also check out this video on the right or this playlist on the left. See you at the next one. Bye.